Hey everyone, welcome to Round the Horn. The music you hear in the background is by our special guest today, Billy Walton. Hello, Billy. How are you?
Hey, Lee, how you making out?
Well, we're
I'm
doing
so happy
okay.
to have me. I'm
Yeah.
so excited to be here.
Oh, great.
I'm so excited to be anywhere.
No, yes, for
during
sure.
COVID.
Yeah, it's been I think since March rather, that I had my gig. And I know you might be playing outdoors a few times, but there hasn't been much call for DJs these days.
Yeah. We had to do acoustic stuff and smaller things. It'll all come back.
Let's hope.
Stay positive.
Yeah, and I know we had a good friend of ours, Screaming Steve Berlotta.
Yeah, I know Steve.
You know him from the Soul Cruisers. He's a miracle boy. Let me put it that way. He's so lucky to be alive and now regaining his chops. So hopefully he gets to start playing again soon.
What a great sax player he is, man.
Absolutely. And a good friend, that's for sure. And a great baseball fan too. So we had a
great
time. He's been one of our guests lately. So we've had a great time talking. So let's go into your background a little bit. How about let's start off with your musical bio.
Okay. I've been playing since I was in high school. Any place, every place, and any place in Hires, and every little bar in New Jersey, any place that wants me. All the way up until I had an original band. We used to play Asbury Park all the time. Moment's Notice. Then on to Botchical Loop and the Bad Boys. I was in that from the beginning, the first 3 albums. Then I moved on to Southside Johnny and the Asbury Jukes for a few years. I was a juke. Meanwhile, I had my own band, the Billy Walton Band. So far, we've done 45 tours of Europe. We have 7
That's amazing.
records.
Amazing.
Am I talking too much about myself now?
No, that's what
Let's get into you, Lee.
I know you, but the people that are watching, they don't know who you are yet.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm only joking.
So how about baseball? I mean, I know you're a big baseball fan. Did you play as a youngster?
Yes, I did. I, all through grade school, loved it. Loved baseball. Then I went on. I left baseball and went on to race go-karts. With WKA. but my baseball years, loved it.
Absolutely. And today you're a ardent Phillies fan. Sad to say.
Below 500 right now, so
I think they're done.
They'll come back.
I applaud Joe Girardi for going into a bad situation. Let me put it
great coach. If they can get the bullpen sorted out, because nobody pitches 9 innings anymore.
Yeah, exactly.
But
most of the time they don't even pitch 7.
That's all we need.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, some guys got to come around a little bit more. I don't know. It gets to be a point where you think you got a slugger, and then all of a sudden, he's fallen by the wayside, and that's what's really happening. I think that. Well, let me put it this way: they've got to make some changes. I don't know if Real Muto is going to stay. That's going to be the prime thing to do, is just re-sign him or try and get a replacement. But I know you Philly fans. We've had a few on.
Yeah. Well, nowadays the whole pitching thing. Once they have a batter's number, they got it. You remember how when Ryan Howard, right? They brought him.
Sure. Yeah.
Brought him in. This is years ago.
Yep.
Man, he was nailing it. Man, he was doing great. But once they figured out, we throw inside, he's gonna go for it.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
And then look what happened.
Like Pedro Solano.
But we got a series out of it, so hey, I'll take it.
Yeah, exactly. I remember seeing Ryan Howard at AA. No, I'm sorry, triple. Yeah, it was AA.
Lakewood Blue Cross, right?
No, it was actually at Reading.
Oh, really? Yeah, Reading.
And well, I don't know if I saw him at the Blue Claws. I might have, but I don't remember. I remember seeing him though hitting home runs in Reading because my folks lived out in that same area. So we'd go see a Reading Philly game every once in a while.
Right.
So, but
They were good games, though.
Mike Lieberthal.
Oh yeah.
Catcher at the time. And I could tell, first of all, back in the old days, you used to have a catcher that was 230 pounds and nobody could bowl him over. And Lieberthal was really tiny. I mean, 5'8", 5'10", maybe, but he had a rocket of an arm and he could hit too. Absolutely.
Oh, wow.
So anyway, let's let's put our Phillies aside for a second. Let's go back to your musical background there, because
I thought you wanted to talk about the Yankees now. You're from up north, right? So you got to be a Yankees fan, right?
I was born a Yankees fan, but since I work for the Cubs, I've got to keep them in the American League. And, I just, my allegiance really is over in the north side of Chicago most of the
time. Oh, yeah. Okay.
What I got to ask is about a new album you've got coming out.
Yes. You want to see it?
Yeah, absolutely. There it is.
Look at that. Dark Hour on Harmonized Records.
People are still making CDs.
Yeah. Well, I'm old school. We still, I mean, we have everything else, the streaming, the downloading and stuff like that. But I still want something I can hold and smell and touch and read. And you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. We've been playing it on Radio Jersey. It's getting great response. Some of the songs are just absolutely fantastic.
Thank you so much.
Let's get back to your Phillies. And do you have a favorite player?
I used to, you know what I mean? I used to, through the years. And, are you talking, I mean, if you want to go back, I mean, Mike Schmidt, I mean, reaching over the plate, you know what I mean? Right. He was great. I was always, even though he was, people like him as a Red, Pete Rose, he was a Philly.
He was a Philly, yes.
I know. I mean, Bryce Harper, I like him,
he needs to hit.
But but it's not like it used to be. It used to be like, pick that player. And now I'm just like, all right, let's see. As you get older, you're like, all right.
Sure. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right.
No jerseys with the names on them back anymore,
And most people don't remember Steve Carlton as a Philly.
Steve Carlton, yeah.
I'll tell you a funny story, though, about the Bull.
Shake and bake, too.
Yeah. I had, for some odd reason, had gotten an autographed baseball from Greg Luzinski somehow. I don't know how it found its way into my collection, but one day I've got a guy coming over to give me a quote on doing some French drains in my basement, right? And so we go down there, and I had a little office there, and he saw the ball. He said, "Oh, I'm a big, big Bull fan." He was about to give me another 20% off if I gave him the ball.
That's awesome.
I said, "No, I don't think so. I don't think it's worth that much." And yeah, we finally didn't go with that guy. We went with somebody else. But, and who's really a laugh is John Kruk.
Oh, yeah.
The Krukster. I got another story about Kruk, because I managed in the minor leagues for a little bit in West Virginia, and that's where he's from. And he was like God to everybody in West Virginia, because local boy made good. But I think that was a rookie reporter who was a woman in the locker room, probably for the first time. And there she goes up to John Kruk and asks him, "Mr. Kruk, how do you stay in shape as an athlete?" And then his reply was, "Ma'am, I ain't no athlete. I'm a ball player."
And it shows.
Typical Kruk, right?
I love him, man. All personality, man, that dude.
Yes, but he could hit. He could. It's just that he reminds me of Schwarber for the Cubs, and hey, he was almost built like the Babe.
Right.
And you could see it. He was just such a character. He is on the air now too. When you talk about announcers, I mean, there were some famous ones for Philadelphia. I remember Richie Ashburn on
Ashburn.
And
Harry Callis.
Harry Callis. Oh, I always hear that almost in my sleep sometimes.
Right. Well, I did.
Like Schmidt.
Right, right. My whole life, I went to sleep as a kid hearing that voice.
Oh
You know
yeah.
what I mean?
Okay.
You know, if it was too late, it was a late game, and I'm
Yeah.
watching the game, I'd fall asleep to Harry Callis. You know?
Harry Gallis, right? Exactly. But you know, Kruk as an announcer, and before that, Richie Ashburn. Those guys are just hilarious sometimes because they're so obvious homers. You know, you
Right.
try. I think it's supposed to be that way because, of course, you're going to gain listeners. But I know some guys try and be as impartial as they can be. But I mean, Kruk's almost calling signals.
Right, right.
Hey, they should be doing this right now, and it's like, especially with that little West Virginia drawl he's got, it's pretty funny.
That's great.
Love watching the Phillies.
Yeah.
You know, they're just such, and they're exciting sometimes, but then again, sometimes they're so bad. And,
Right.
and you know what happened, Dak? There's guys that actually play for the Phillies and are horrible. They get traded away, and all of a sudden they're superstars.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know,
That's the Philly way.
our thanks today to Billy Walton for stopping by and spending some time with us. See you all next week on Round the Horn. Good night.